we are going to start today off with a rev story. How Dragon Age Veilguard may end up bankrupting Bioware. We knew Veilguard was bad. I had no idea it was going to be this bad. Wait a minute. Rygat. Gotcha. All right. So, chat, let's see. BioWare is on fire right now. Wes is sing campfire songs. I'm ready for it. Rez, will you please lead us in a campfire song?
Hey, what's up, guys? Up here. So today we're going to be once again talking about Dragon Age, the Veilguard, which continues to be an absolute nightmare for BioWare and EA. So here's the latest headline from Matt Park Place, and it paints a pretty grim picture. BioWare
Good night,
claims
Sniper Bait.
Dragon Age, the Veilguard sales have reached 1 million copies as company hunts down whistleblowers. Now, that is not a new thing. BioWare, among other companies, have had many people from their inside come out and reveal what's going on behind the scenes, and it's all.
Fan notice claims that it's reached 1 million copies.
Cheer 100 bottles of bits on the wall. 99 bottles of bits. Take one down. Pass it around. 99 bottles of bits on the wall.
Thank you, Lomrel. They're claiming 1 million copies? I'm sorry, but with BioWare, receipts or it didn't happen. Sorry, unless BioWare can produce some receipts for this, I'm not going to buy that they sold 1 million copies. Didn't they only sell, wasn't the last count only like 500,000? And that was like last week? Rob Death Panda, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it was when we looked at when we checked on I think it was a rev story last week. They only had like 500,000 copies sold. You're gonna tell me that in 1 week, the game that they publicly said, we're done, no more updates, we're putting it in maintenance mode after 1 week and we're moving on to Mass Effect, you're gonna tell me that game sold 500,000 copies in 1 week? I don't fucking think so. Oh, no, I think that was total, Dracel. I think that was total through online sales and like through digital copies and physical copies, like with PlayStation and Xbox. I believe that was total. I think. I don't know. Wait. I would need receipts. I would need receipts from BioWare to verify this, because this someone's definitely, it feels like someone's cooking the books on this one.
Cheer 199 bottles of bits on the wall. 98 bottles of bits. Take one down. Pass it around. 98 bottles of bits on the wall.
Thank you, Dropkick.
Often very grim results, especially with projects like the Veilguard. Now, this 1 million mark comes just after 2 weeks of this game being public, and that is a really disappointing number if you're BioWare. There are rumors out there right now that it might take 5, 6, maybe even 7 million units sold to even break even.
Yep.
Yes, let me repeat that. 5,
They're
6,
fucked.
maybe 7 million units sold just to get their investment back. That is how bad things are looking right now for BioWare and EA. Now, before we get into the details of the story, I want to share some news with you guys. Advanced GG has just dropped a new fall merch collection. We normally cover many different things from their website, including ice shakers, flavor jars, and stuff like that, which you can also check out on their website. But this is something a little different. They have this fall merch line here. And through Sunday,
Oh, did I
they're
use something
offering
with
20%
Rev?
off if you use code REVFALLMERCH20. You can check out that collection, which is going to be around for another week. And you also check out other items on their website as
Well, I
well.
mean, Lemire.
And yes, this will be
So
around for
what?
about another week. So I'll put a
So
link
what?
to this in the pinned
Do you
comment.
like
Make sure to
the
check it out.
thighs? I don't know, chat. Do you like the thighs? Hmm? You like it?
And use the code while it's still available. Now, returning to Dragon Age the Veilguard. So here is the updated numbers. You can see 27,000 in-game players.
Wow. Look at that drop. Remember when we saw it last time? It was like 40,000. Like 48,000. Now it's down to 27,000. This game just keeps going down every time we look at it.
Cheer 100.
Thank you, Sanguine.
Right now. So every time I talk about the Veilguard, which is, probably every couple of days since its release, that number of in-game players drops by about 10,000 every single time. It's consistently falling off, and it's not too surprising based on the public reaction. A lot of people are very dissatisfied with this game, which is having a record number of cancellations and people trying to return this game.
Falcon, I have got a very, 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 very long way to go before I might get a Tumblr. And it's straight. I haven't even applied to GG subs for a percentage code. So we unless I make it myself, we're a very long way off.
It's a mess. Now let's look at the actual article here. So we've seen some numbers about the sales before where people like Endymion and Smash JT have shared that the game had only sold 500,000 copies and had 30,000 refunds issued. This was something that was shared somewhat.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about. Endymion, the game only sold 500,000 copies with more than 30,000 refunds. This is the number we saw, and that Bioware is claiming in a memo that they've hit the 1 million threshold, which is why I was saying, show me receipts or it's not happening, Bioware. Show me some fucking receipts first. I guarantee this feels like 100% bullshit.
Recently, but it appears that number is actually off, but not too beneficial for BioWare as well. So it's Smash JT who reported that he received.
Guarantee, Redvin? The shareholders have already been on blowing up the soul mine, saying, "What the fuck, BioWare? What the fuck, EA?" Both of their phone lines had been probably exploding for shareholders, saying, "What is this bullshit?" And you have to wonder how many of them have since sold their stock. Since BioWare, since they released it, how many shareholders sold their stock in BioWare and sold their stock in EA when this game launched? There had to have been several, that just went, "Fuck this shit, I'm out. This company is going down, I'm not going down with it." Tanashi, excellent question. Ubisoft is already getting shopped around. So there hasn't been talk about that for BioWare that I've heard. Maybe no one even wants BioWare, who knows? But it's kind of a race to the bottom for these two devs right now. It really is. It's sad, but it's also fucking hilarious.
A very long email from an insider at one of the relevant companies talking about the sales, saying this in quote, "Concerning sales, the game has reached 1 million copies over the weekend according to news we got." So your initial source is not accurate, or there is something I am confused about numbers. We get told and can see we have a launch party this week for the game. It will be grim, and there are a huge number of freakouts. I hope your source is still safe from investigations going on. That's referring to a previous source who gave some information, and you can see there's a lot of panic at BioWare right now.
Well, I've been informed by my source at BioWare that they've been updated over the weekend. Well, personally, I still have my doubts this number based on surroundings. I want to pass along something, okay?
Right now, they are trying to find this set of whistleblowers. Everyone is panicking over there. And it's very weird to see. BioWare's in a situation where normally you hit the million units sold mark and you go out there and you celebrate it, right? You post
Yeah,
about it
I've
on
heard
your
that.
accounts because it's good promotion for your game. But BioWare and EA have said nothing. This is apparently from an internal memo. That's how they found out about the million sales. And it seems like that announcement was somewhat influenced by the fact that that 500,000 units sold mark was going out on social media. So they wanted to correct the record in office and say, nope, it's
Uh-huh.
actually a million, which again, according to many people, that is far short, like not even.
And I still think it's someone cooking the books or just putting out information to the employees, telling them we've crossed the 1 million threshold, so people are not panicking internally and looking for another job. Because if there was only if a game of this, with this budget, which the budget on this was fucking huge. I think we heard it was like $250 million budget for the game itself, not even counting advertising. And the game flops this hard, there's gonna be a lot of devs. They're gonna be, was it 400 million? 400 million development budget? Fucking hell. Yeah, if it flops this hard, that most of their devs are probably gonna start shopping their resumes. Not even like getting fired. They're gonna shop their resumes and get the fuck out. Because at that point the writing's on the wall, like, okay, they just sank this much money into it and they're getting back, they're not even gonna break even. They're gonna take a massive loss on this. And a lot of people internally are probably going, yeah, I'm gonna start calling other companies and make sure I actually have a job tomorrow. Whether or not Mass Effect will even come out, I don't even fucking know anymore. That's it. It kind of like, I know it does kind of put a question mark on Mass Effect, like with Bioware flopping this hard for Dragon Age. No one has any faith in them putting out the next Mass Effect, even well. Nobody thinks the next Mass Effect is even going to do well. Bird Love, what's this? Bird Loves Kami. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. But yeah, it's, even if Mass Effect does come out, no one has faith in it. Absolutely no one has faith in it because they see what they did to Dragon Age. BioWare has put out shit for years. They have not put out anything good that I can think of in years. And it's only a downward spiral. No, Lord Ravens, I don't think anybody wants to right now. I think that they want that franchise to get sold off to another company. Granted, their options for it are very slim to none, but I don't want to accept it at this point. It's almost a guarantee. It really is. No, I mean, you know what? I'm thinking Bioware will probably go under, or they'll get sold, and Mass Effect is basically going to be their death rattle. That's my suspicion. I think they might actually get Mass Effect out, and it's going to be the company's death rattle. Just like Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be Ubisoft's death rattle for when they get sold. That's my suspicion. We'll see how it actually plays out.
Close to breaking even. And also on top of that, we don't really
well, Bobcat,
know
that is the
when
question,
they
isn't
say
it?
sales. Does that include the amount of units they've placed into stores that haven't been bought yet? There's a lot of questions like that. So that million might not even be as effective as it's being portrayed. But anyways, as he says in his article here, despite the reported sales, according to my insider, the atmosphere at BioWare is anything but celebratory. Morale is at an all-time low, and there's extreme tension surrounding the game's reception and the state of internal relations. The response to the Veilguard has been weak AF, with YouTubers and players alike voicing concerns about its quality and perceived indoctrination.
Concerns? No. this report, granted, is they're using kinder language, but YouTubers and players not voicing concerns. They're flat out lambasting the fuck out of Bioware. Bioware. That actually sounds about right. No, but they're lambasting Bioware for the quality of the game and the indoctrination. And that it's a shit game. People are not pulling punches. Yeah, concern is like obviously this article to retain professionalism in how they report, they're using concerns, but the fact is that people are just blasting it from they're nuking it for more of it because it's a shit game. We watched those death scenes of the companions and they're weak as fuck. It's compared to other Dragon Age games, those death scenes were weak as fuck. And I'm sure the rest of the game is just as bad. So, it's not perceived indoctrination. It's not. When you have an entire quest line, like when you actually gain a trophy in the game for being transgender or non-binary, if that is an actual trophy, yeah, that's indoctrination. In a Dragon Age game, yes, that's indoctrination, no matter which way you slice it. Oh yeah, Tay. Yeah, if you choose, I forget if it's like during the opening, where you do like, if you choose for your character to be trans or non-binary, they actually do like a little like. It's not a substantial award. It's basically about the same as getting an Xbox trophy. But they do for that. They give you like a little trophy thing for that. Yeah. There's no any way you slice it. That's indoctrination.
Alongside severe lack of any innovation, amid this, internal pressures are taking a toll on BioWare's team, adding multiple layers of stress to an already difficult launch. Yeah, as they said, there's going to be a launch party. I don't really know why they would call it that. It sounds a lot more like a funeral or something like that. I mean, it's been a rough couple of weeks for BioWare,
and not even a New Orleans funeral too.
Being made by Mark Kern, the former World of Warcraft development team leader, who says, we're winning. Dragon Age the Veilguard has fallen. Dragon Age Veilguard has failed to recover its costs. It has failed, and no, holiday sales won't save it.
Oh yeah, we went over that on stream. We watched the video where it was an influencer, I guess, some trans or non-binary influencer was going through the character creator and was just lauding the fact that you could have top surgery scars in your BioWare Veilguard character creator. Celebrating the fact that in a Dragon Age game, you could have modern day top surgery scars. And you're gonna try and tell me that it's not indoctrination? Try again. Nobody's buying it.
BioWare is so angry that the Veilguard sales numbers have leaked that they are launching an internal investigation to find the leakers. Concurrent players have dropped off the charts just 2 weeks in, sitting at a peak of 34,000, now into the 20,000 mark, versus their launch weekend high of 89,000, a 62% drop before the month even closes.
Yeah,
returns are rumored to be 30,000 copies, and the game is being traded.
Well, Alex, that was the argument that we were making when we were watching that video about the character generator. Why would there even be scars? If a character is going to be trans, you can just use magic. You can just use magic and make them trans. That's why I said they're putting modern day surgical scars into a magic-based fantasy game. And it makes no goddamn sense whatsoever. Medical people in a fantasy game don't do mastectomies. Xanax, very likely. It's, it was, 89,000 players opening week. In 2 weeks, it's dropped by 62%. So yeah, very likely it's going to be 10 to 12,000 next week, if that. Like, that is abysmal. Well, when we went over that video where they were showcasing the character creator, I believe we did mention that, Alex. I think. But the video's on YouTube, so you could probably look it over again. Maybe we didn't, but I thought we did. Well, yeah, exactly, Raven. I mean, it wouldn't be surgical scars. It would be battle wounds. So.
In a GameStop so fast that used copies of the game are flooded and being discounted with a trade-in value of only $14 cash. By comparison, Stellar Blade, a much smaller IP and many months older than the Veilguard, is $16 cash, which shows just how bad the Veilguard's value has dropped. Fun fact, Star Wars Outlaws is even worse at $11.90 cash.
Ouch. So even, that's impressive. Even when Bioware's failing this hard, Ubisoft is failing even harder. Both of these companies are just fucking trash fires right now. They are both just absolute shit. This is just insane. Star Wars Outlaws has got a trade-in value of $11.90. And Veilguard is a trade-in value of $14 after being launched only 2 weeks ago. That means, and what that means is there are so many people that bought the game, bought a hard copy of the game, played it, couldn't get a refund, so they just wanted to trade it in. So these like GameStops and EB Games and whatnot have had so many people wanting to unload this piece of shit and trying to recoup some money that they're only offering $14 for it, or $10.90 or $11.90 in the case of Star Wars. That's how fucking bad these are. Ouch.
Stellar Blade wins again. Total sales for the Veilguard have only just crested 1 million copies in 2 weeks. Budget is rumored to be $250 to $300 million for the game, making it fall well short of breaking even. If you take most games' sales profit at around 70 to 80% of the list price after store markups and digital platform fees, a $300 million budget would need around 6 to 7 million copies sold. This is where I differ from most people's estimates who say 4 to 5 million. Either way, whether it's 4 to 5 million units, they're not getting there. They're not even going to get close. At this point, they should be at multiple million sales. They should be at this mark already if this game had any worth. But they're just hitting 1 million now, and sales are going to be slowing down extensively as time goes on. I mean, the numbers itself for the game speak volumes. The player count every day is dropping by thousands, and now we're in the 20,000 mark only 2 weeks in. This game is dead in the water. If this number right here about the 6 to 7 million copies sold to break even, my God, this might be one of the biggest flops you will see. And it's just another woke disaster, and it doesn't surprise anyone, right? This is a bunch of nonsense. But then again,
well, I mean, Tay, we haven't seen too much about GTA 6. I suspect that GTA 6 is probably not going to end up like this. I think if GTA does have anything like this in it, like what we're seeing with Veilguard, some of these concepts, I think it's going to be utilized for shock value or for humor. It's not going to be taken like dead serious. We're activists. We have to promote this. Rockstar is going to treat it as just another aspect of the batshit craziness that is GTA. Especially because it's taking place in Florida, I believe. So that's my suspicion. Rumored to have 150, okay, Dracel, are we sure that's not kind of like super special version? I can't see the base version being $150. I'm guessing that's like some kind of special edition with extras in it or something. The base version's probably gonna be like 60, 70 bucks. And then they'll do like the extra editions or something. Because that's the thing these days.
Again, you see the Game Awards coming up, and I have a very good feeling that the Veilguard might win Game of the Year. Like, I'm not kidding. They're mask off with their agenda. It's run by journalists over there at the Game Awards.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a very
You guys
strong
heard about that?
suspicion Veilguard could win, despite everything going on, because
The Game Awards has been exposed as being complete fucking bullshit, that they are deliberately tanking. There was a story, a couple stories about how with the Game Awards, they were pulling votes from Black Myth Wukong. So the Game Awards. Like Black Myth Wukong was okay, Coyote, good night. Black Myth Wukong was at the top with votes. And then out of nowhere, it like dropped. It went from like 90, it was like in the high 90s percentile of votes for Game of the Year. And then somehow it dropped to like mid 70s for the votes for Game of the Year. It went from high 90s to mid 70s. Yet none of the other games in the running for Game of the Year had any change in their percentage. Like they had maybe a couple percentage points change. Nothing that would explain the massive loss of votes that Black Myth Wukong had. So the Game of the Year awards is a scam. It's a complete scam. It's complete bullshit. It's once again an agenda-driven mouthpiece of the journalists, of the games journalists. They 100%. They like Rev was just saying, and what I've seen in others, it's mask off. They are not hiding it anymore. They're like, we are promoting this game because it's promoting the ideology that we like, that we approve of, so we're promoting it, and we're downplaying the games that gamers actually like and buy. So yeah, nobody's gonna give a shit about these Game Awards. Nobody is gonna fucking care one iota.
The people in charge of the jury voting are largely journalists. So they're going to love the Veilguard. They've been hyping up the Veilguard, and I think they'll try to do that again. They'll try to pull some crazy move and make it Game of the Year. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. But you can see now here with Mark Kern's post, he shares the trade-in value. I mean, look at how bad this is for the Veilguard. Cash up to $15 for the Pro value,
version.
$14 for regular value. Compare that to Stellar Blade, which is doing better. And this is a game released months ago, and also not a big brand like Veilguard or Dragon Age. And yeah, what a disaster. And unfortunately for BioWare and EA and anyone just related to those two entities there, nobody feels sorry for them. This game...
Well, Dracel, because they don't get because we're just the stupid plebs. Why should we have a say in anything? You know, why should the gamers who actually spend money on these games and actually play these games and actually value these games, why should they have any say, right? They're just stupid plebs. They couldn't possibly have an opinion relevant to how popular a game is, right? No, of course. We have to leave this in the hands of the journalists who want to push a fucking agenda on everyone and say that anyone that doesn't agree with it is a horrible person that should be canceled immediately. So, yeah, of course, that makes perfect sense, right, chat? Absolutely.
Game was an absolute disaster, a huge disappointment, but they'll never admit it. And they're going to have their launch party, and they're going to have a very weird scene on their hands over at BioWare when they try to discuss this game and how it's going. It's very clearly a disappointment, but nobody over there is acknowledging it, but they're going to be forced to pretty soon. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Holy shit. So, it's doing even worse than we thought. Even worse than we thought. Fucking hell. I mean, I suppose we shouldn't be surprised, right? This actually feels like it's about right. Honestly. And I'm waiting here the announcement that BioWare is either getting shut down or getting sold. That's coming. It's 100% coming.
Speaking
I'm
of
just waiting
award
for it.
shows, there's still time to nominate Ember Paradox for the VTuber Awards if you haven't already done it. Ember P10 Heart.
Thank you, Atanashi.